So, yeah, Charles Xavier, aka Professor X, although he was never called like that in the original trilogy, at least I don't know, don't remember the first class period of the movies, because the first class was like the first generation of X-Men, which was very boring, to be honest. Anyway, X-Men The Last Stand has Beast wearing a first class uniform, and with that they setting up the continuation prequel series or alternate timeline for the X-Men. And right in the beginning, after they replay the Magneto scene in the internment camp, we get Professor X telling us what he thinks, what's his fundamental going, what's his take on the mutation, and he considers it as the ruling class, sheer magneto power, supremacy. You know, in the comic book, he was like a big event when he returned from space where he fucked for some space alien queen, because of course he married to royalty. I don't know why he returned. Maybe he was a clone, maybe he wasn't. It's just, who cares at that point. I was so happy when the comics got rid of the guy. It's just annoying, and he was a super villain. I will tell it. It's a video for. So he gets back, and after a while, he loses his control on his abilities or the subconscious part or something like that, and the whole thing manifests as this Galactus level threat. It has some Magneto armor and all kinds of super threats. Just so you know. But I want to talk more about the person. And what we learn of him in the third movie, Last Stand. On the poster it was X3, but never called that officially, so who knows what was going there. Anyway, we learn that, and this is from Jean Grey, aka Phoenix, who has no reason to lie, absolutely no reason, because she is a god amongst insects. Her power goes like, I don't know how long is the Golden Gate Bridge, half of that length, plus a bit because they were standing on an island. The professor permanently brainwashed Wolverine without his consent. Sure, it was for him being able to live in society, but still without consent. And he did the same. That causes all the problem with Jean Grey in the movies. That he did the same at a much younger age, at a much stronger level, much higher level on Jean Grey. And instead of slowly building down the gates he put in her mind, so he doesn't mean a threat to society and everyone in general in her immediate surrounding, she was able to see the movies lift all the cars and practically reverse gravitation in her street. And that was when she was, I don't know, 7, 15, who knows. Now So that was a huge, massive problem. And before I talk about the movie, let's go back to the comics. If you, why would you read the comics, then you know that Professor X had a brother, and he was Bulldozer. Yes, Kane whoever. That's actually his brother. And they had a aggressive sibling rivalry. So much so, and people won't tell you this, but it is in the comic. If you pull it out, you can read it yourself. Made a X-Men with the exclusive purpose to defend him from Kane Marco, aka his brother, aka Bulldozer. That was his whole shtick. It wasn't to mutant rights and the betterment of the future and humanity and all that kind of shit. No. It was pure selfishness. He lied to every member of the X-Men, which of course led to certain members leave the X-Men, like Cyclops. I don't remember overly who went out when and why. I remember Beast probably left because his experiment on himself to reverse his mutations went wrong, and that's how he gained his fur and all that kind of stuff. And Jean Grey probably, I don't know what happened. I don't want to go into that. Anyway, so Professor X, Charles Xavier, was never a good guy. He was always a manipulative, lying piece of shit. A supervillain, if you want. Now, what does he do in the movie? Because, yeah, he died, finally! The wheelchair bonded piece of shit, manipulative, brainwashing, problematic person who mind raped everybody. Yeah, you would think so. And when you watch the after credit scene, you should be able to think back at the very beginning of that movie. When on the ethics class, there is an ethics class, not a physics or anything, an ethics class this time. And he presents a practically brain dead, permanent coma guy who has zero chance to wake up. On the other hand, on the margin of this, let's mention that some people did get to themselves after decades. So that would be fun. And he raises the ethical question that what would be the moral thing to do in this case? They don't discuss euthanasia, but they are discussing mutation. So the chances he presents is something like should we just leave him alone, or why not plant a family of 4 with stage 4 cancer to this guy, or just go on superVILLAIN and make you an infinite life. When your body does, you have a spare. Something like that. And what does Charles Xavier do after he brainwashed Wolverine? After he lied to Wolverine? after he lied to everybody, after he kept secrets, after he constantly read everybody's mind in his surrounding, after he caused a split personality disorder in Jean Grey, after he never even told Jean Grey that he did some procedure on her, never told her her full powers, never told her the threat level she can be with her full power. She never told her that she even has surplus power that she cannot use because of Charles Xavier. What does he do after pointing at the moral dilemma with the brain dead person? He takes over that body. No consent, no agreement, no prearrangement, and implying that being the ethical thing would be let the guy alone, even planting there a really good person with great possible future on his or her deathbed. Oh, not her. Of course, he grew up in the 50s or that, so he obviously would not consider women on that regard. What does he do? He takes over the body. Because he is a supervillain who meant like the biggest threat ever to the X-Men franchise. I mean, in the comics, that whatever that manifestation was. Charles Xavier, it does not deserve to hang around. He has to go. Fortunately, because I was very annoyed when he showed up in Multiverse of Madness, fortunately, Patrick Stewart will die at one point. That's my commentary on the supervillain Charles Xavier, aka Professor X.